I used to wake up far too often and think, I am tired. But I'd groggily get out of bed and go try to find something to wear. But nothing I put on made me feel good about myself. I'd finally go look in the mirror, and all I could think was, I am fat. Trying to make myself feel better, I'd go and put my makeup on. But the entire time I did this, all my negative brain could think was, I am ugly. I'd finally get myself together enough to go into public. But I felt horrible. All day long, it felt as if the world were against me. Nothing could go my way. I'd finally come home and sit on my bed and think, I am unhappy. I couldn't see that my constant bad attitude was directing energy towards negativity, and it was affecting my whole life. You see, often we get caught up in our flaws or the potential blunders in our day that we forget to leave room for positivity. There's no time to be blissful if you're always thinking negatively. Tonight, I want to talk to you about the importance of I am. The I ams coming out of our mouths will either bring us success or they will bring us failure. I know all of us, just like me, have had our days where we think, I am so done with school. Or we're driving along and we get caught in traffic and we think, I am so unlucky. Whatever we end our I ams with is where our energy is flowing. Energy flows where attention goes. So if we direct our energy into saying positive things like, I'm strong, strength will come to us. Or, I am talented. Talent will find itself in our lives. But if we continue to allow ourselves to think negatively, we're inviting negativity into our lives. But if we allow ourselves to think positive thoughts, like, I am blessed, or I am lucky, we are inviting positivity into our lives. As young adults, we are growing and changing, and we'll often find ourselves at awkward stages throughout our lives. Boys will learn how to shave their faces, or at least hope there's something there to shave, and girls will learn how to do their makeup. For some of us, we'll even learn how to tame our untamable, crazy curls. During this stage in my life is when the I am fat, I am ugly, I am stupid began to kick into high gear. I was so stuck in my own rut, and soon this rut became a hole, a deep hole that I couldn't climb out of. This hole that I created from my negative outlook began to consume my life, and I lost many of the people that were closest to me because of it. Life was unfair, and I felt broken and worn at 17 years old. Happiness doesn't result from what we get, but from what we give. I was living my life complacently, and it wasn't fulfilling at all. I started thinking, this is the only life I have to live. I should probably start valuing it. I mean, YOLO, right? I decided it was time for some changes. I needed to start valuing and enjoying this life I was given. I thought about the people that were most positive in my life. My first thought was Miss Hayley Huber, my mother. My mom has gone through more than I thought any woman could and made it out not only alive, but happy. She always has a heartfelt smile on her face and a true appreciation for life. I aspire to be more like her. My mom owns a home and garden decor store where she sells a lot of furniture. Most of the furniture she buys from yard sales, thrift stores, or the Goodwill, and then refurbishes them. Some of the items she buys only needs a quick wipe down, but more often than not, they need a fresh coat of paint. I began to watch my mom in all that she did. Her life seemed full, and it seemed as if she was the one making it that way. She always saw the potential in life, and I wanted that in my life too. I remember one Goodwill shopping trip very well. You see, I was not looking forward to driving all the way to Seattle a good 3 hours away, to go dumpster diving. It was finally the weekend, and this is not how I saw myself spending my free time. But my mom insisted that I come. So 3 hours later, we finally arrived at our destination. Now, for you to fully understand this Goodwill story, you have to know that this wasn't any Goodwill. Oh no, this is the biggest Goodwill in America. It's huge. It's ridiculously ginormous. So my mom and I grabbed up our carts, and I proceeded to follow her all throughout the store. She continued to pick up items that to me appeared to be garbage. You see, thrift shopping is dirty and gross, and definitely not my thing. At least I thought. What seemed like years later, we were finally checking out. It wasn't that day that I began to have a true appreciation for my mom's line of work. It was until I came home and refurbished my first piece of furniture that I began to understand why my mom had such a passion for what she did. Discovery consists not in seeking new lands, but in seeing with new eyes. And that's exactly what my mom helped me do. She showed me how something broken and worn, much how I felt like my life currently was, could be created into something beautiful. Our Goodwill shopping trips became different after that. We started to race all throughout the store, trying to find the best treasures, shopping until our carts were overflowing. My perspective was refreshed, and my life was becoming more beautiful because of it. Just like my mom, I began to see potential in many of the items. It's a rush of opening a fresh can of paint and slapping on the first coat. Items start off as old used things, but with a little bit of TLC, they become beautiful again. They become beautiful again. After finishing a project, I am blissful. And all I can think is, I am talented. Once my mom buys her furniture, she has to get it ready to be put on the sales floor, meaning she has to mend the furniture and fix what's broken. Fixing broken doors and adding on new handles leads to a metamorphosis of sorts, not only in the furniture, but in myself. Each of us here are much like these pieces of furniture. We have wear and tear on our hearts and on our minds from different stages throughout our lives. Everyone has a past. Everyone has a story. And everyone also has the ability to allow their story to break them down or let it propel them into a new and more beautiful life. Throughout this year, I've met many amazing people who have done just that. Shelby Jones from the Meridian FFA chapter has a love for Goodwill shopping just like I do. She has a huge heart and a love for animals that is contagious. Shelby always has a positive attitude, whether it be with her FFA chapter or her family at home. Shelby Jones inspires me to keep a positive attitude. Miss Darla Shepard from the Yelm FFA chapter. This woman is not only my FFA advisor, but my best friend. She can see the silver lining or opportunity for growth in any situation. And whether you go to her to talk or to get some advice, she always has a positive outlook. And she is not afraid to let you know if your attitude is less than positive. I respect honesty and optimism, and I am blessed to have so many of these great examples in my life. Throughout this year, many people have taught me that every thought and every action make up our lives. If negative thoughts are consuming much of your life now, take the time to change them. You have the power to repaint, refurbish, and refresh those thoughts into new and productive ones. Thrift store shopping is my favorite. I have found my bliss. It's the rush of spotting out the perfect thrift store and shopping till you drop. But the best part is when you come home and you finally finish that piece of furniture and you get to see what your hard work has rendered. Today, I challenge all of us to keep our attitudes always positive, think, am I leading my chapter, my community, or my world into a more positive life? If your thoughts aren't those that are nurturing happiness, take the time to change them. Invest your time in things that bring you joy, and take time out for the blessings you are given. Discovery consists not in seeking new lands, but in seeing with new eyes. When life seems to be handing you a whole lot of junk, just remember that quote. So Washington FFA, today and every day, I encourage you to make your perspective one that allows you to say, I am following my bliss.